Hi friends, it's Claire from ScrappyNerdUK and welcome to episode 13 of my 6x6x6 paper pad series. So I'm really delving into the scraps to get this paper pad used up, and I'm using the Oh My Heart collection by Paige Evans, and I'm just going to grab these paper scraps here and I'm going to create a design along the top and then down the left side of the page. So some of these pages are full 6x6 pages. This one here I never really knew what to do with it, and cutting it into little squares and using it as decoration, really I found a purpose for it. So I'm just cutting different sized shapes. I was going to look at that cut apart sheet, it doesn't get used in the end, but I'm just going to pull out these ones that I've already chosen and start cutting different squares, different oblong shapes, to line along the top of my page and, as I said, down to the left. So that paper there with the scripty sentiments on, I cut it out so the sentiments I want to use are used, and there's no rhyme or reason to the size of the squares. I just want to make sure that they overlap and that the colours are evenly distributed. And again, in with that same pattern paper there. You could fussy cut those out and use those as embellishments, but they're a bit small on that 6x6. Potentially the 12x12 size of that paper might work quite well for that. And I'm quite pleased because this purple ombre paper, I think I use everything apart from a tiny little scrap of it. So this is really delving into those 6x6 papers and getting those scraps used up. You don't necessarily need scraps for this. I suppose this series is somewhat along the lines of you know, using up your 6x6 paper pads, but also using your scrap papers as well, because it will work for that also. So again, just alternating the papers down the left side. I did leave this whole process in because I wanted to show you how simple and easy it is just by cutting out little squares, layering them on top or underneath each other. But I don't subject you to watching me glue them all down. So just finishing off here, and when I first started doing this I just thought, what am I doing? This is crazy, it doesn't look right. But when I finished I was so pleased with the effect of this. And here is the layout with the items all glued down, just finishing off the last couple here. When I started gluing them down, a couple of them did end up being moved, and that's just because I can't remember the placement I had them in originally, but I'm more than happy with how this turned out. So the layering behind the photo. So I'm going to need to mat it on some of the pattern papers. I just want to pull those same colours in behind the photo. So I use this heart paper. I've already matted my photograph on some white cardstock. I use the heart paper behind to pull the pink colour. And I'm going to use the rest of this paper with all the shoes and the makeup as my next layer behind the photo. And that's really going to help pull in some of the red colours that you can see in the makeup brushes, some of the yellow colours. But you can't really see what the pattern is on the paper, and that's fine by me. So I'm just trimming around that with my scissors. And then I've got these two offcuts of this purple periwinkle paper and this pink checked pattern one. And I'm just going to cut that where the perforated edge is. And those are going to go to the top left and to the bottom right. And again, that's pulling that purple and the pink colour into the photo layers. I decide not to pop that on any foam. I just glue that straight down to the page as it is. So this is quite a lot of title work for this. I didn't really know what title I was going to go with, and then I found some inspiration on Pinterest. I quite often like looking for quotes on there, and I add quotes and stuff to my traveller's notebook, and this is a great way as well to find titles for your scrapbook pages. And I found this title. I cannot remember for the life of me what the actual sentiment was. Now I'll just grab the layout whilst you're watching that. So it says, a daughter may outgrow your lap, She Will Never Outgrow Your Heart. So this is a photograph of my mum and my sister from many, many years ago. This would have been maybe, I'm just trying to think now. Wow, I've been in my house 11 years, so it's got to be 12, 13, 14, 15 years ago. It's another one of those photographs that have been in my photo box, and they need scrapping. I need to do something with them this year. I have actually culled some of them, so I've been through anything that's blurry, anything that doesn't warrant a scrapbook page, then I have got rid of, or I've taken a photograph to keep it digitally, so I can maybe tune it up, and that's another great tip. So because this title is quite long, I'm going to do a mixture of alphabet stickers. So I've used the thickers from the same collection to spell out the first two words, a daughter, and then I'm using the 30-page sticker book from Paige Evans to add in these little alpha tiles, and I'm going to alternate my colours that I use on this as well. And I'm going to speed this process up shortly, because it takes quite a while to get all of these stuck down. And you've got to be careful with these, because just like that, they do tend to, when you try and pull it off, they all seem to come off together, which is a little annoying. I did find a little tip actually. I've got a Tim Holtz pick, but a paper piercer will do the same job. If you just use that to get underneath the alpha, and make sure that you hold the next one down to it, it does then come off all right. This is where I pull all the O's off of the page, and they're a bit of a nightmare sticking back down as well. So here's where I just speed up the rest of the title and don't subject you to watching the rest of these alphas go down. You'll see that I do go back to the other alphas in the kit as well, and I've just pressed those down, but I will later on go and glue those down as well, because chipboard thickers do not like to stick. So the layout is slightly off the page, but don't worry, it does come back in shot in a second. So I'm just going through the chipboard the chipboard that I have left from this collection, and I'm just using a couple of pieces. So I originally pulled that little banner piece with the heart on that's to the right of the photo. It doesn't make it into the final layout. And then I pulled this little banner piece that says I could cuddle you forever, and I've put that on the left hand side. There's enough colour behind it to help that pop. And then the chipboard heart, and the little book that says fairy tales, I think so. Then next in with the ephemera, so I find this heart, and these little clipboards. They've been around in this collection for a while, and I haven't ever found a use for them. And as I said, we're embracing the random ephemera, and they are going on this layout, and I'm gonna make a feature of it. So I'm going to pull in some of that copper foiling. So I put a flower to the right and then a flower over those clipboards, and then a few more bits of ephemera, so an ampersand and another heart, and then in with the puffy stickers as well. Initially I do just glue this heart down, but I do decide to come back and put some foam tape, foam dots behind it, just like this one, just to give it some dimension, because the paper's all very flat. So just pull that back up. The ATG tape that I use is very forgiving, so it's easily removed. And so I'm just going to use the area around the pattern paper to add in my embellishments, and doing a bit of colour on colour, so where it's not so busy, so that purple area in the top right, I could get away with putting an ampersand and a chipboard heart, because it wasn't that particularly busy there, so that worked quite well. And then I'm just clustering those all back together for the side of the photo, and then popping them in place and trying to get that floral piece just to sort of surround the bottom bit of the title. Next up, I bring the sticker book in from the collection, and I've got these copper stickers that have been floating around, again not making it onto a layout, and I decided to get them used on this. So I used that one there that says hugs, this one that says kisses, and one that says cuddles. Oh, there's this one as well, with all my heart, or with all your heart. And I layer that over the photo because the colour of my sister's jumper really helps the writing stand out in that. And then this final one that says cuddle. And again, it's just making the most of the pattern paper. That's where the areas of embellishments are going, apart from the bits around the photo. So I found another one of these stickers, clipboard stickers, so I add that to the right hand side as well. So I'm going to bring this in that says cool mom. I'm sorry to any of my American friends. I'm going to have to cut the top off of this to make it cool mum. And this is the layout almost finished. So thank you very much for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, if it's given you inspiration, don't forget to give the video a thumbs up. If you're new to my channel, hi, subscribe. I've got plenty more to show you, plenty of other videos on my channel as well that you can go back and have a look at. And any questions, any comments, do leave them in the comment section down below. And thank you very much. And I'll see you all again very, very soon. Bye.